Hello friends, this video on Heredity and Evolution Part 11 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So with this, I'll end my discussion on the topic heredity. Now, before we go ahead with the next topic on evolution, let us look at some of the questions just to ensure that you have understood the concepts well. The first one. A Mendelian experiment consisted of breeding tall pea plants bearing violet flowers with short pea plants bearing white flowers. Okay, so here you have two contrasting characters. One is the height of the plant and the other one is the color of the flower. Right? So what are the two contrasting characters here? Plant height and flower color. Right? The progeny all bore violet flowers, but almost half of them were short. So what was the generation which was produced? The output was that all of them had violet flowers. Okay, but half of them were short and the remaining half were tall. So this suggests that the genetic makeup of the tall parent can be depicted as which of these? So let us see. So here it says, when we talk about the progeny, it was all violet, right? So if the progeny was all violet, that means that the parent was homozygous violet. So here, which are the letters which we will use to denote them? We have white and violet. So here if you see, capital W, small w. Let us suppose that small w denotes white and capital W denotes violet. Okay, so small w is for, so let me write here, for white we denote small w, for violet we denote capital W. Now you might ask, why are we denoting white with small w? Why not with capital W? Because here it says that the progeny bore all violet flowers. That means violet is the dominant trait, right? So we generally prefer to denote the dominant trait with a capital letter. So that is why we are denoting violet with a capital W and white with a small w. Similarly, we will denote tall plants with capital T and dwarf plants with a small t, right? So this will be our notations. Now if the progeny has all violet flowers, that means the parent is definitely having homozygous violet. So the parent will have WW. Because if the parent would have been heterozygous, because in our previous topics which we have discussed, we saw that whenever the parent is homozygous tall, all the progeny is going to be tall. But if the parent is heterozygous tall, in that case the progeny will have a mixture of tall and short plants, right? So similar is the case here. Here the progeny is all violet, that means the parent is homozygous violet, right? So this was about the flower. Now let us talk about the height. So in the height it says that the progeny is a mixture of tall and short. Half of them are tall and half of them are short. So the similar logic applies here. So if the progeny is a mixture of tall and short, that means the parent is heterozygous, right? So the parent has to be heterozygous. So how the parent will look like? So the parent will be capital T, small t, capital W, capital W. So this is going to be the right answer. Clear? So you understand the logic? We have discussed all these things. So whenever the parent is a homozygous, all the next generation are going to be of the same dominant trait. So here, since the F1 generation is all violet, this shows that violet is the dominant trait out of the two flower colors, and it also says that the parent is homozygous violet, that is WW. But in the for the height character, the progeny is a combination of tall and short. Some are tall, some are short. So the parent has to be a heterozygous, and that is why this is going to be the genetic makeup of the tall parent, right? So what is going to be the genetic makeup of the short parent? So this will cross with the short parent, that is TTWW. Because if any of, now short parent is obviously this, right? Because the short parent is the recessive trait. So it has to have everything recessive. Even if one of them is capital T or capital W, so it will not be a short plant bearing white flowers, because the short trait is also recessive, the white trait is also recessive. So it will be this. Clear? Okay. So let us look at the next question. A study found that children with light colored eyes are likely to have parents with light colored eyes. Okay. On this basis, can we say anything about whether the light color is a dominant trait or a recessive trait? Why or why not? Okay. So first of all, when I say light colored eye, so how can a light colored eye be denoted? Whether we will denote it as capital L, considering that the light colored eye is dominant, or we will write it as small l, considering it is recessive, or we can write it as capital L, small l, considering it as a hybrid. Right? But in this case, we do not know whether this trait is dominant or recessive. So that is the question. Can we say if the trait is dominant or recessive? What is given? That a children with light colored eye are likely to have parents with light colored eyes. Right? That means if the child is capital L, in that case, the parent will also be capital L, right? Because if the child is homozygous, so the parent has to be homozygous. Now, if the child is small l, so in that case, what will happen? The parent should also be small l, because it has got small l from both the parents, right? So the parent should also be a small l and small l. So now in this case, so we cannot say whether the eye color is dominant or recessive, because this information is not enough, because there is a possibility that the trait is recessive, but since both the parents have light colored eye, the child will also have a light colored eye, right? Now if we say that the trait is dominant, even if one of the parents have light colored eye, the child can also have light colored eye. So in both the cases, we see that there is a possibility that the child will have light colored eye if any of the parents have light colored eye. So we cannot say that whether the light colored eye is a dominant trait or a recessive trait. Let's look at another one. Outline a project which aims to find the dominant coat color in dogs. Now, when we talk about dogs, there are a variety of coat colors which are actually available. It can be black, it can be brown, it can be white, so it can be grey. There are plenty of colors available. So, just for now, let us take an example. Let us consider that we have a homogeneous black dog and we have a homogeneous, say, white dog. So let us suppose if I have a black dog and I have a white dog. Let us say if I have a homogeneous black dog and I have a homozygous black dog and a homozygous white dog. Now if both of them are bred together, if they mate with each other, so what will happen? What will happen to the F1 generation? So in the F1 generation, so if both of them mate with each other, so what will be the F1 generation? F1 generation will have BB, BB, BB and BB. That is, all of them are hybrid, but they are all black, right? So we can say that black is the dominant coat color in dogs, right? So if we want to find out the dominant coat color, what we can do, we can take a homozygous homozygous dog of one color, another homozygous dog of another color. We mate them. So the generation which we get, whichever color is displayed, that is the dominant coat color in dogs. Right? So here black and white are just examples. You can take any color you want, and in that fashion you can actually find out which is the dominant color, because the dominant color will express itself in the F1 generation. Let us look at another one. How is the equal genetic contribution of male and female parents ensured in the progeny? So how do we know that the male and the female both contribute equally in the offspring? Now, as I said before also, that a human male will have a total of 46 chromosomes. So they will have 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. Similarly, the female will also have 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. So what is the sex chromosome in male? It will be XY. For female, the sex chromosomes is XX. Now, what happens during reproduction? Now, during reproduction, the male will send out the sperm cell and the female will give the egg cell. These sperm cell will contain 22 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome, either X or Y. The egg will contain 22 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome, and this sex chromosome will always be X because it has only X. So now these two will combine together to form the zygote. The sperm and the egg will combine together. So there are two possibilities. In one possibility, X will combine with X. In other possibility, Y will combine with X. So in the first possibility, what will happen? 22 autosomes will also combine with 22 autosomes. So it will form 44 autosomes plus 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes, that is XX. That is one scenario. In the second scenario, these 22 and 22 will combine, so it will form 44 autosomes plus this Y and X will combine, that is XY, that is 2 sex chromosomes, that is total 46 chromosomes. So this will give rise to a male child, this will give rise to a female child. So that is how we can say that the equal genetic contribution, because the total number of chromosomes was 46 in any human being. So here also the total number of chromosomes is 46. Here also the total number of chromosomes is 46 and it is contributed equally by both the parents. 23 from father and 23 from mother. Clear? Okay, so with this we will end our discussion on heredity. So next topic which we will discuss is evolution. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online test, get free study material, find tutors and mentors. Thank you once again.